I'm Kylie. I am here with all my friends today. We're going to have basically some girl chat about life. And my beautiful friend Hazel here had introduced, a topic of basically, I think what everybody's kind of afraid of is that, the world seems like it's ending. And so we just wanted to have conversation today about as friends about some things that we're facing in our life, just kind of vent a little bit, doing a little vent session, nothing super professional. So again, this is just real life conversation today. So again, I'm Kylie, and then I'll have my friends introduce themselves.
What's up? I'm Hopeful Hazel, and I am just excited to be with my girls and to chat. I mean, since the world's ending, we might as well get some things off our chest. What y'all think?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, y'all. Hey. I'm Key, like the key to your heart. And I'm just here to vibe, chill, get some things off my chest. And we always got good conversations, so, why not bring it to y'all?
Hey, this is Texas tapping in. I am here to be a witness. I'm going to chime in, but I'm going to be a witness to what's going on. Because you guys are like, I miss my best friend.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're all like real good friends. So basically might as well be related. I moved in here to Arizona about 5 years ago, but I met Hazel and Key in the workplace. And so we all experienced something together in this workplace environment that I feel that really made our bond even stronger as friends. And we bonded together over negativity and really uplifted each other and some others within our group. And so I'm very thankful to have these girls as my friends and cousin as my friend as well. And so again, I'm again thankful to have my sisters. I call them my sisters here in Arizona. So yeah, let's start this topic. What are we talking about, Hazel?
Let's see. Let's pick
444.
Because it's a messed up world we're living in. So I know we're all like stressed over so many things. And so, for me, it's work.
Yeah.
That's my stress point. So we'll probably talk work today.
All right. So since the world's ending, let's chat about the things we should have done scared. What you should have done, even in fear. But then let's acknowledge how fear is a liar and it can hinder us. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you want to start? I think for me, the biggest thing that I should have done scared was really, truly be my authentic self a lot sooner in life. I spent a lot of years trying to be what everyone else wanted me to be, if that makes sense. And I feel like I've always been kind of living in my own little social experiment. It's real crazy. And when I was getting my sociology degree, that's what I kind of felt like, is that like my life is my own kind of personal study that I can also have as a longitudinal thing, but also looking at other people. But I think that I spent a lot of time being who people wanted me to be versus who I wanted to be. And I think that if I would have spent more time being that person who I wanted to be and living authentically, I would have made it where I wanted to be at a lot sooner, and I wouldn't have experienced a lot of some of the other things that I had experienced. So I would say definitely being my true self is what I would have done scared. Scared is all shit.
Yeah. It'd be a lot when you fighting your own demons. Like you versus you. It'd be a lot because you be in your own way for no reason.
For no reason.
And I think as women, that's a big, it's not uncommon, right?
Yeah,
because
no,
we always
it's really not.
typically put other people first and not really focus, even if we are fearful, like we don't put that focus on our own fears, because we are trying to move forward and do for others, especially as mothers or as, leads of our family, all those things. And so it is really fearful to even think of your own like happiness sometimes and putting it first. Because what does that look like for yourself to be happy? Because you might be letting somebody else down in the meantime while you're focusing on yourself. So I definitely get that part.
Yeah. That's that motherly instinct. That's that, because we always want to nature. We want to care. We want to give, so sometimes we got to step outside of that though. Because if we taking care of everybody else, who take care of us? We'll be forgetting about ourselves. And sometimes it do sound selfish, but if nobody else is going to take care of you besides you, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to look out for you too. So it's like, what does that look like? And I can understand how people, fight with themselves, with their conflict.
And I think culturally too, wanting to break generational curses and live up to what your parents wanted, but then also knowing that might not align with what you want and how you envision yourself. And so understanding that you are gonna disappoint them and having to be comfortable with that.
Right.
And I wasn't, early enough of where I needed to be, and I think that also we're taught, especially in the minority community, that the women are supposed to be the strong ones. We're the ones that are supposed to carry the burden for everyone else. We're the ones that are supposed to look after our siblings. And, instead of trying to figure out who we are and what we're destined to do or what we're looking to do, we're already being groomed to take care of others, which is ironic when men say that we're not being groomed to be wives, but we are. Even though they, don't see it that way. But, we're groomed really early on to be those providers, to be those strong ones, to be those ones that put our own needs to the side in order to do for the family or for the greater good.
Right.
So why do we get attacked, I'll say, when we decide to put ourselves first?
That's what I'm saying, because we're taking away from the others, right?
Yeah.
That attention.
But who's attacking?
Right. Yeah, come on.
No, I'm asking a question. I'm asking.
But why would somebody attack you for that?
I get what she's saying though. Like when you start putting yourself first and maybe saying no to friends.
Oh, okay.
Or putting yourself
removing
first.
yourself from situations.
Yeah.
Or walking away from relationships and letting go of things that no longer serve your better good. Why do you become the bad guy for that?
Sometimes you got it is what it is at the end of the day. Because if you're not serving me any justice or adding to my life, like what's really going on? Yeah, what we doing? Like, I mean, sometimes you have to be selfish, and it may not look okay, but it is okay, because in the future, it's like if I would have did this would have kept going on. But now that I didn't cut that off, now I'm over here chilling. Like, I have that peace, and sometimes that's what we be needing. I need my peace.
Yeah, but to answer it, like for me, is I again think people don't like that you're taking away what you've already provided. So say,
The change.
that's the change. That's, I think, also very essential when we talk about setting boundaries for ourselves or within our relationships. Even like with me and my kids, like my kids are like, "Why are you leaving?" Well, because I have something I need to go do. But can I come? No, you can sit. You're gonna sit here, right? And so it's always like you're gonna kind of disappoint somebody in some way, especially if you've been doing things for them or with them for so long, and you want to up and switch to say, hey, no, I need a minute. I'm going to sit here and focus on myself. And that's kind of very disrupting to people, because now we're disrupting their flow and how they think and process through things. And I think people just don't understand that. But also people are very individualistic, I think. in today's world and don't put themselves in other people's shoes to sit here and say,
it's one-sided.
yeah, it's one-sided.
It's one-sided.
It's one-sided.
And that's literally all that some people are able to see is the one side.
It should
So
be
you have to get to an age, or, you know, at this big back age of mine where, you know, baby, roll on with that one-sided, honey. I'll be I'll be the villain in your book. Because I know what I deserve.
Right.
Does that make sense? I've been through a lot now, right? But so I kind of know what I deserve now. I know what I want. I know
There's nothing wrong with that.
I know what I want. I know what I deserve. Does that make sense? And if you're not willing to meet that, then baby, carry on. Like I don't have time to play patty cake. It's not patty cake.
Because I'm not getting any younger.
Baker's man no more for me. Does that make sense?
And that's why I said that my thing that I would do, being scared of shit, is be my authentic self, because if I was already walking and living in that truth, I wouldn't have had to set boundaries. They would have already been established. I wouldn't have had to have people come to me and say, well, now you acting different, because I would have already been presenting as that. So they would have already known that what I expected and what I required in order to get for me to pour out of me was something that you needed to pour into me. And
So
if it
for
wasn't
years-
benefiting.
So for years, I poured out of a very depressed state for almost 2 decades. Giving, providing, allowing everyone to take, because I didn't know how to heal. Does that make sense? No one teaches us how to heal. But they'll shove a lot of grief and pain on the shoulders of us. Does that make sense? But nobody teaches us or walks us through the healing journey. Still don't really know what that looks like.
They want to
Does that
say,
make sense?
just pray about it.
And
You know what I'm saying?
I love the Lord.
Love them. Can we find another solution? Because I've been praying, baby.
So healing's different for everyone. But when you finally do start waking up and kind of rising and kind of feeling better about who you are, right? And accepting the things that have happened, acknowledging the things that can't change,
Right.
and realizing that that's giving you battle wound scars that have created wisdom, made you rise and made you a bit stronger, right?
Yep.
Now you can stand head up, chest out.
Can't nobody take that from you.
Glorilla, you know?
That
I'm
part.
like Glorilla, okay, baby, 10 toes behind what I said, how I feel, what I want, and what I deserve.
Yeah.
And
Respectfully.
if that doesn't rock for you,
Respectfully.
baby, I'll talk to these 4 walls before I allow a motherfucker to disrespect me again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes great sense.
Respectfully and disrespectfully. However you want to.
Take it.
However you want to take it.
At this point,
You feel me? Like we just gotta lay it all out there. Like we in a day and age where people just really don't take into consideration, like, this is real life. Like everybody think it's a joke because of what they seeing on TV, all this. Girl, they should have got him. They should have bow. They should have took him out, because it's a mess. The world is a mess. And everybody voted for him. Let's get him into office.
the world ain't a mess just because of him. He's just been exacerbating. But you know, let's keep it a buck. It's been traditionally white men who have been the driving force of a lot of things that are not right within the world and society. No matter how you shape it, look at it.
The system's failed us all the way around, regardless. I think it's failed everyone. Does that make sense?
And who is that control?
Well, that's not failing. They did it purposely.
Thank you.
Intentional.
It's an intentional
roadblock
act that was structured in order to create the system that we're currently living in.
Yeah.
It was strategic. They did studies on this. They made sure that they were putting the right pieces in place. They were for sure playing chess.
Mm-hmm. So
while everybody was playing checkers or mahjong.
Why y'all think black people can't unify like as one? Because it's a lot more of us than it is, like, if you really think about it.
I think that's a misconception that we're not unified. I fail to believe I fail to believe that we're not unified when you look at all of the waves that we create, all of the businesses that are not only being created, but also that are sustaining the movements that are through social media, through the streets and everything else. I think that is something that is pushed in order to further continue to program us to think that we're not united, to think that we have all this black on black crime, to think that our communities are disrupted, to think when we're out marching, we're tearing up our neighborhoods, even though everybody who's out there for real marching is like, who the hell is these clowns tearing up these neighborhoods? Because that's not what, but they send people out there to strategically cause those disruptions in order to make sure that the communities are not, that people are thinking that the communities are not flourishing.
Like this
when
is
in
what
fact,
we're doing. Yeah.
Black women are holding more advanced degrees than any other race, ethnicity, including white men. We're starting businesses at large numbers and they're sustaining. We're creating wealth. We're buying up neighborhoods. We're passing on what we need to pass on, and we're working with our kings. They like to also make it seem like we're not working with our black men, when indeed there's more black married couples than there are interracial couples. But they push the agenda and show us more interracial couples to make us think, oh, wow.
A lot of it too is that social programming, like you were saying. There's a lot of studies and statistics. It's like it's knowing who controls, right, the social media, the airwaves, the television, like, and what's actually shown versus what is not shown. I watch a podcast on Sirius XM, and just of different people that are on there and highlighting like what positive things are happening within the Black community as far as coming together and focusing and supporting each other. But when you have a generation of people that are so brainwashed by technology, and I talk about this all the time.
You are right.
People just don't know what they don't know because one, of the lack of education, which was done purposely. Two,
and there's no books.
We're definitely coming away from physical books.
That's a whole nother topic.
And also, two is just the information that's constantly shelled out, but it's not correct. And so
you're totally right.
Being mindful as minorities or Black communities or whoever, just knowing the real facts about yourself in your community is super helpful. And all of that comes back to like that main question of why us, or a key's point of why women, especially Black women, are meant to uphold certain standards within their household. Well, if you go back to slavery, and the Black woman's role was being the mom, being the one, to make the food in the house and all of those things, right? It's so all of that really maybe not intentional, but it's patterns and habits that come down through generations. And there is a thing of having traits by genes, right? Your mental traits, and just like depression can be inherited, so can some of these other natural instincts that we think we're supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z because all of our ancestors have done so, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only way or the correct way to do something in our life. And I think that's something that's really important for us women to really understand, that we can do whatever we want and not be feeling sorry if we're hurting someone's feelings today.
Because they don't be sorry
because
they hurt ours.
Not sorry if you hurt my feelings. But as soon as I call your ass out, you're like, why are you being mean? Why are you being a bitch?
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I carried the pain too long.
Yeah.
What baggage, guilt, or grief you need to drop before it's too late?
For this one, I think about it regularly, and I say, even though I understand everything and I've gone through a lot of work of processing and things like that, I still have not learned how to forgive my younger self for making the mistakes that I felt like I was too smart to make.
Yep.
It's one of those things that it's like, I had the knowledge, and when they say when you know better, you do better, and I didn't, and then having to live with that as coming to my reality of those choices created the circumstances of whatever future that I'm living in now, and so it's just taking all of that and understanding that, yeah, I did the best that I could with what I had, you know, even though I knew a little bit better, my circumstances and environment were still what they were. And so I still acted through trauma, through grief, through, you know, all of those other things, disappointment and, you know, depression and things like that. And so just learning to forgive that part of myself and leaving that where it's at so that I can really, truly just
Flourish.
breathe. Shit.
Breathe. I feel that. I feel like mine would be, and it's real personal because it's like this is my biggest regret ever. Like, and I know they say you're not supposed to have any regrets, you know, but this is my biggest regret that I did not do more for my oldest daughter.
Yeah.
Because it's like you just what you said, you know, while I was listening to you, but it's like I didn't know better.
Right.
And I was scared. And that's something I should have acted, you know, because when it comes to kids, people are ruthless.
Yeah.
And you should be ruthless when it comes to your kids, but I just did not know.
Yeah.
And if I knew better,
Right.
I would have did better. But it's just, that's the biggest, I think about that every day,
Yeah.
you know, and to have a 2-year-old just pulled out your arms and that's the last time you see her. She's 10 now. You know, like, it's a lot that come with that, but, you know, I have a 3-year-old now, so it's like, I want to be, I'm strong for her. But it's like, I know when that time comes, my oldest gonna have those questions like, you were there for her, but you couldn't be there for me. Like, it's just a lot. But that's something we working on. I'm trying to forgive myself because I feel like mentally it's messing with me more than I want to admit it. But that's, girl, you know, that's,
I know. I was like,
that's
are we
healing.
gonna
Like,
the
that's
tissue? That's
healing. Like, that's part of my healing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of crying, y'all. Like, I really am.
I get that.
I get it.
So it's like, I didn't cry the river. I didn't, what else is there left to do? I have to make a way. Like,
Right.
you know? So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah.
You know,
the same.
and just maybe if you start now and start doing little keepsakes that you can keep so that once she turns 18, you know, there's some memories that you can share with her and just, you know, these are some things that maybe we did on your born days, or these are some things that, you know, I wanted you there for that you couldn't be there for, but I documented everything so that you could share in that moment once you're able to, you know, because you can't change what they doing, you know, but you can change what happens between y'all two once she's legally able to reach out to you, you know, and we know it's going to happen because of, you know, how she is and what she's already been doing. But, you know, so
We just
taking it,
day by day. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's like one of the biggest things too, is that it's just the feeling of guilt, or those things that we feel very guilty of all the time. And some of those things, you know, we can let go, but some of them you can't. I think one of my pain points, I guess, is my relationship with my family in general. I do feel guilty as like being the oldest of 8 that I'm not as present for my siblings. But again, we all kind of grew up in different households. And so I do my best to reach out. But, you know, my sister just had my nephews, twins, 2 months ago, and I'm not able to go and see them, you know, so I kind of feel guilty of things like that, or not being present for my niece and nephews. And not maybe I feel like I could have done more for my siblings more than I have. And I think another big piece is having young parents. My parents had me at 16 and 17. And me and my dad are like this. Me and my mom do not have the best relationship, and we still to this day, like, we're cordial, we talk, but, you know, I talk to her maybe once every couple of weeks.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest. And so
I got
it, I guess I feel guilty in a sense of maybe shutting out my mom without giving her an opportunity to tell me her story.
Right.
And she's still here. Like I can still do that with her, and I do want to have those conversations, but there's so much around like the
unpack,
trust,
yeah.
the why did certain things happen when I was a kid, or why did you treat me this way and not the others, so it's always those things. And so it's been heavy on my mind to have those conversations with my siblings separately, and then my mom, but a lot of that too tracks down to how I am with my own kids. So there's so many things that happen like within my childhood that I highly tried to avoid with my own children. And I feel so guilty sometimes when with finances, I know everybody struggles in today's economy, but it's like I feel so guilty when I can't take my son to the beach when he keeps asking me to go, right? And so it's all of those little things that I think that guilt really weighs very heavy on us, that can also cause a lot of extra unnecessary stress and pain. And it's knowing about controlling what you can. Because if you can't change it, we can't bear that weight so much.
And that's why I said I'm tired of crying, because I've been crying. And that's not changing nothing. It's not, you know what I'm saying? That wound is still there. It's still open. It's still leaking. Like, my eyes are tired. I'm tired of crying. Like, it's time to find a different solution. Like, what we doing?
Yeah.
What can I do?
I feel that because I grieved for 10 years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I grieved for 10 years the death of my soulmate. Does that make sense? I grieved for 10 years. And I think I just finally was like, I deserve to be happy. I think within those 10 years of grieving, I let a lot of people play in my face.
No.
I let a lot of people take advantage of me. I let
Just
a lot
to try
of
to
people
fill
use
that
me.
void.
You know what I mean? I tried to create a family, and I was the only one who was 100. Does that make sense? Everybody else was just there to see what they could get, take, win. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I overlooked so much because I was grieving, because I was hurting, because I was so broken, and I just wanted someone to love me for me.
Yeah.
Makes sense? So I just gave and gave to the ungrateful. You know what I mean? And then it's like when you wake up and you realize, you know what I mean, that, oh yeah, you guys have really been playing in my face. You know what I mean? And you start kind of combating that and making conscious decisions from a place where it's clear and not dark or gloom anymore, right? You can see now, you know what I mean?
Right.
At least just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Maybe just a
That's
little
all you
bit,
need.
You know what I mean?
That's all you
A
need.
little bit of clear
Baby,
vision, you know?
that's all you need.
Smoked and cleared out. Is it? Oh, okay.
You sure right.
Move accordingly.
It'd be a cold day in hell before I speak to a lot of people ever again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's like,
Cold day in hell before I speak to a lot of people ever again, and it's okay.
It's okay.
but by nature too, like we want that love and affection, and sometimes, just like any addiction, like love is an addiction, and being in a positive relationship, some people are like, I don't need anybody. No, like we're human. Like
somebody.
it's by nature, we all want somebody next to us. And so I have talked to them before about, maybe as us as women, like for me personally, like if I'm in a relationship with somebody, I might have 4 major key points that needs to check all the boxes, but realistically, we're not gonna have all 4 boxes checked.
We deserve some.
3 or 4. It has to be 3 out of 4. But I think too is kind
Let's
of
talk about that.
going back to setting those boundaries and learning from past relationships.
The reason why you feel like that is because she has not been through what you have been through. So she is willing to make an exception. Whereas to you or not, because you're past it. You made an exception. You know what I'm saying?
I've allowed.
We at different levels. You know what I'm
I've
saying?
allowed.
You gave the wiggle room,
Yeah.
and they take advantage.
Yeah, like when all I've asked for was like 50-50. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When there's a lot of beautiful Black women and beautiful women in general out here
Yeah.
getting everything, not paying anything, just living their best lives. And here I am, basic bitch, just asking for a motherfucker to be interested in going 50-50 with me.
But that's the thing too, is are they really getting everything? That's what I
Or maybe
Yeah.
it's just social media.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
it
they
is.
just playing in our face.
and that's what I want people to realize is like not everything is going to be 100%, right? And anything that's worth having, you have to fight for, right? And you
it
have
has
to
to
put
be
in
worth it.
worth it.
Yeah.
And there
That's
has
the
to be
point.
effort on both ends.
Yes. And if there's not, they're not trying.
Because I like the saying, somebody told it to me, it's about how you see the glass. Is it half empty or is it half full? And depending on how whoever you dealing with look at it, you know what I'm saying? That's how you got to move. Because if you looking at it half empty, then maybe it is empty. It ain't nothing there left, you know what I'm saying? But if you looking at it half full, you know what I'm saying? Maybe there can be room to work. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? But if it's not, then you have to make those conscious decisions to move around or, protect your peace. A lot of people not protecting their peace.
Yeah, protecting your peace comes at a price. It comes at a cost.
They do.
You lose a lot when you start protecting your peace. You lose a lot of people. You really see who's there, right?
I mean, but did you really have them then if you're losing?
Exactly.
Never
Exactly.
lost.
Exactly.
Never
Because if you go to a loved one
Yeah.
and you get to saying woo to woo, woo to woo, and they have any other nothing but respect, you know what I'm saying? That's respect. That mean I care enough about you to respect your boundaries. And if you're saying anything else, then yeah, you're not even from the jump. You know what I'm saying? Why would you even have to question that?
Right.
Why would you even have to question that? So at this point, move the fuck around.
No, really. Well, and then that was like one of the other points we talked about was like loving me while I'm here, right? So
Yes.
it's like,
What does that look like?
yeah,
Right?
there's
What
been
does that look like?
so many instances in between my ex-husband and my current relationship. I've dated enough to where I thought, in a couple of instances that I had a good person, like we were a great match, but it didn't work out. But then all these years go by and now I'm in a committed relationship and they want to circle back, spin the block. We're not spinning the block. Why don't you love me while I'm here? You know what I mean? So I feel people just really don't want to do the work when it's not what they want
Convenient to them.
and it's not convenient to them. Again.
And you're supposed to wait.
Yeah.
You're supposed to wait.
Mhm.
Like I've had a homie. I refrain.
That little yeah.
We're not saying names.
I don't know.
yeah.
They literally expect me to wait. Like you made a choice.
Yeah.
You made a choice. You made a conscious decision to be with who you wanted to be with. And now you expect me, you know what I mean, to not be with nobody and wait when you made a choice.
I have a question on that. Is it possible for it to be the right person but the wrong time, and that they need space and opportunity to be able to come or become, I should say, who it is that you deserve? Because here it's funny. I asked that because I seen a story the other day, and it was a couple. They went to a comedy show.
Okay.
They went there on a date, whatever. 9 years go by. They go see the same comedian. And he's like, what the fuck? Why haven't y'all gotten married yet? Like, obviously. Dude, calls them on stage. Fiance pops the question then and there. But while he's popping the question, he tells her, I've always known I wanted to marry you. It took me 9 years to become the man that you deserve to marry.
That can be respected because that means there's always been an E for effort throughout the 9 years.
Okay, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's been working to improve himself. He's been
Exactly.
working to be that man. that
Because
she
he knows he
desires,
want to be
right?
Exactly.
So he's put in the E for effort, right? He's running bathwater. Maybe he's throwing out the trash. Maybe he's washing the car, topping it off with gas, rubbing her feet. You know what I mean?
The little things.
The little things that matter. Does that make sense? That allowed her to stay in something for 9 years because she did feel safe.
Yeah.
She did feel love.
Yeah.
She did feel comfort.
Yeah.
Right?
So is there a difference between that and the man leaving and going to become the man that he needs you,
I think
that
when
you
they
need him to be?
leave, if you leave, maybe that means we both fit a experiment.
Right.
Experiment.
Yeah, we can both grow.
Not saying
To me,
that
that
we
means we
can't.
both experiment.
But does that mean that he can't spin the block, or does that mean that
it depends.
if the universe were to have both of y'all single at the same time and y'all met up again, type son or something like that?
It's
Then
an opportunity.
okay. I just want to know. I just want to know.
Because baby, if you leave, we both about to grow.
We both growing.
We both about to grow.
Grow in a lot of different ways. I don't know.
We're both about to grow,
See,
baby.
I'm not one for the you wanna be separate and
Right.
work. No, because especially at our ages, moving forward, maybe if I was in high school, say I didn't marry my ex-husband, right, and I went off to college in a different state, which was an option, but I chose to stay home to be with him and whatever. Long story short, but it's always the what ifs I think we're afraid of too, of what will happen if we separate, especially in a relationship.
Maybe I'm ready to find out.
Long. Yeah, at our age now. Yes, right. So that's what I'm saying is like for now, again, that's about those boundaries, setting expectations, considering where we're at our age in today's day and age, what you know from past relationships, like what you're going to accept and not accept. And you have to learn how to set those boundaries and say, no, I'm not dealing with this. And at this point in my life, like my boyfriend, and I don't care, like, and my ex-boyfriend, they're all like, why are you so blah, blah, blah? Like, hey, this is how I am. If you don't like it, take it or leave it. Because this is who I am. Why am I like this?
Why are you here?
I've learned so much about myself. This is me authentically as myself.
Right.
And if you can't accept that, sure, I'm going to try my best to make the effort and meet you halfway in the middle, also see your point of view. But what men or whoever tend to not understand about their partner is that they are an individual.
Exactly.
And we're just as much as I don't want that person to change to appease me.
Right.
I don't want to have to change for you.
Because when I
We
say
gotta
be
work
yourself,
together.
that's what I mean. I want you to be yourself. Give me a chance to see if I want you to be yourself. Keep being yourself.
Right. But don't switch up too, because that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, that they get so mad when we're all of a sudden starting to set the boundaries and say, no, we need to, as women, upfront, this is what I want, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm giving, what are you giving?
So would cheating be a boundary?
Cheating is a boundary.
Like, would it be like a step away forever boundary, or try to make it work?
For me personally, at this stage in my life, yes, I'm done. You go have fun.
Okay, what about me?
What?
That's your personal opinion.
I'm talking about like as far as age.
What you think?
But is cheating okay? Is that a healthy relationship?
No.
Because there's ways to have fun if y'all want to have fun in a relationship.
I've been on both ends of this.
And I have too. I'm not saying I'm not perfect. I'm by no way.
Been on both ends of this topic. Yeah,
I'm just saying,
He's saying, yeah.
I think it's predicated on I cheated predicated on how I was treated. Not to make an excuse for it, not to justify it, but if you present something to me,
Excuse me.
and
Men do it.
you feel how you feel about what
I
you
cheated
said
on
to
you
me.
because I felt X, Y, Z. I cheated on you because you weren't doing X, Y, Z. So
and I'm not going to apologize because you didn't apologize about how you made me feel prior to it.
Well, why did they cheat instead of having the conversation?
The conversation was had. The conversation was had. The conversation was
Now, in
mentioned.
her case, yes, but in all other situations, like you're saying, most situations, the conversations aren't had. However, let's also not act like conversations are not being had, or at least attempted to be had, and we're not listening.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of us get that love deaf ear, where we start living in that Delulu land, and he's being honest. He's telling the truth. But we just don't want to believe it or listen. We just want to, well, we're better. I can make him change his mind. I can be the best woman to X, Y, and Z. Well, if I do more, then he'll only want to be with me. But he's telling you, so I think it goes both ways. Like sometimes we attach to the thought of what we could have with that person or who he could be versus
What
the
he is.
reality of who he is.
They're showing you
and
who
what
they
it
are.
is, you know?
Yeah. They show you her, but that's what I'm saying. People really do show you who they are. And that's what I think I've learned, and no shade to my ex-husband, like me and him have a great relationship right now. But I think in our younger years, I was hoping and waiting for things to be different and change. And even between myself, I wasn't perfect, and I've learned a lot. And I think it was my most recent ex-boyfriend that really taught me a lesson about myself, and that I don't really observe or listen well to what the other person is saying. You know, kind of like maybe a little bit selfish in a sense, but that's just me with a certain wall that I have up, right? So we have to be able to, you know, again, look at their perspective, look at what they're feeling and thinking and listening. But if that person is not showing up in an affectionate, positive way towards you, and they're constantly doing negative things all the time when you are giving your best effort, like
really,
that's them
hardly
showing
trying.
up and showing you their self. You know, if someone really loves you and cares for you, I think it's what I'm really fortunate about my boyfriend now and my partner is that, you know, and it's really hard for me. Like, he shows me so much love and affection. I'm like, it's sickening. I don't know how to take it sometimes. I'm like, because no man has ever showed me that type of love and affection, and I deserve it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so regardless of the small little things that might piss me off that he does, where I'm ready to like go sleep on the couch or get the fuck out of my house, like I don't want to hear no more, like it's like that other piece is much bigger because I've never had it. Yeah.
And that counts. That matters. That matters a lot.
I think I give people too much benefit of the doubt. Like I'm one of those that I'm like, oh, well, let me take in account their trauma. Let me take in account their relationships with this. Let me take in account where their mental state is. Let me take in account. And I've done that for every relationship, whether it was a romantic one, whether it was a friendship, whether it was with family, whether it was a coworker. Like, I've literally done that my entire life with every person around. And I find myself falling into those situations and patterns where I start looking back and being like, now hold on now.
Accepted so much, right? Accepted so much, allowed so much.
Yeah.
Just
But it's a base
overlooked so much. Like,
Yeah.
it's overlooked so much. And I get that because that was me too. Just let that one slide. That didn't mean nothing. That wasn't important.
Well, I understand. They're going through something.
It. They didn't mean no harm. But the moment you're the one going through it, can't nobody let nothing slide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not about a double standard. Like, if you can do something, expect that I'm gonna do the same. It's not a tit for tat. It's not, and I hate.
I match your energy.
I'm reciprocal. I reciprocate.
And I think that's what it is more so a reciprocation, because everything is an energy flow. And I don't like saying match your energy because
You're right.
I can be above that, and I can be the light that shines so bright that your darkness is overshadowed.
It's
You know,
overshadowed
I can definitely be that. And so I don't like saying it like that, but it's also learning how to have that discernment to be like, you know what? This is a situation and a person where I'm seeing that I don't want my light dimmed. So I'm going to just go over here and bring my energy here and just leave them there. Like, I had to start being more in that mind frame, because let's keep it a buck. 9 times out of 10, if you're matching somebody's energy, what is it? Negative. It's not no positive.
You're right.
You're not bringing forth positivity. You're not bringing a solution. You're not bringing a change. You matching the negativity that they putting onto you.
Right, because we don't combat positive energy.
Right.
But we need, and that's what I think we need to do better too, is giving praise or positive affirmations to things that our partners are doing well. And that's
Working
even
on it
something,
now. We growing. It's a growing process.
Yeah, it is.
But I like when people started doing that. Okay, because that's what you said. That we're not gonna say that wasn't no. But
That's an inside joke too, Ron. I don't know what they're talking about.
because she be off the chain. But that's why I like that, because it is one of those where.
I can show you season of life at point. Of this age in mind, I can show you better than I don't got nothing to talk about.
Right. No,
I
literally.
just show you better than I can tell you.
But you can show positivity too.
I do that very often. I do that very often, and people don't like it
Yeah.
because I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. I'm living from an unbothered state. Like I really don't give no fucks what you think or how you feel about me.
Literally.
That's really how she be on the phone. She'd be like, no, I really don't. No, sis.
Because I can't.
She should have been.
Girl, when
Does that
I was
make
eating
sense?
here at the restaurant the we were at this Mexican restaurant the other day, and she was going off at the bar, but that's the whole. I'm like looking at her like, shut up before we get kicked out. She's like, I
don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. That's just how I feel right now. That's the state I'm in.
I'm really in a season of I can show you better than I can tell you. I don't mean any harm. I love you from a distance. You can catch on fire. I'm not going to drop wine or water. I don't give no fucks.
Yeah.
I love you.
Fair enough.
But I don't give no fucks. I'm not wasting shit else on another motherfucking soul that wouldn't do shit for me.
Right. And I get that. I get
So
that.
in the disconnects, it's kind of like, oh, Hazel's mean.
Yeah.
She a bitch.
She's on her
Evil motherfucker.
But here's the thing, though.
She's a miserable motherfucker. But
That's
I'm really
only
glad.
from people who are not reciprocating what you're giving out, because the people who are reciprocating what you're giving out, one, are not seeing that side of you, and two, if they are seeing that side of you, they understand that you're frustrated. They understand you're venting. They understand X, Y, and Z. They're not taking it personal because they know it's not directed towards them.
Right.
yeah.
You know, as they say, if the shoe
It
fits.
be some real stuff going on in my world on a daily, y'all.
Yeah.
God is good, nevertheless. He sits high, looks low, comes to see about me. So an unsent letter. If the world was ending and you had to write a letter to somebody that you loved or hated, someone that hurt you or someone you hurt, where would you start? What would that look like?
I don't know. Anybody else have an answer right away?
Fuck you.
That's where we started.
Yeah.
We starting with someone you hate.
I
Hate's a strong word.
hate is a strong
But I
word.
think
I
you
don't
do
want to hate no right.
experience
Someone
that
you
a little bit. Strongly disliked.
Strongly
Dislike.
I've said that from my gut. That's
You did.
I felt
That's the whole letter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got you.
Awesome.
I got you.
You know, because I don't
Short and
want to.
sweet.
I don't want to waste any more time. I just want you to know.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
You know my phase is you could go to hell.
There needs to be a quote.
Fuck you. Fuck you. That's how I feel.
Okay. Harmonies. Not.
That's how I feel. If you know, you know.
For me, it would be probably a letter to my younger self, a letter to my children,
Yeah.
and a letter to my parents. I think that I spend a lot of time thinking about, you know, giving people their flowers while they're here, and also having conversations that are tough to have, you know, and I've always kind of been like that. I've always been kind of the oddball and the black sheep in that kind of way. And so my parents and I have had a lot of very open conversations about things, you know, but I think that I haven't said enough about me forgiving their mishaps and things like that. You know what I mean? And for my children, I do spend a lot of time, especially with my oldest, because I had my oldest like your parents. You know, I was young as fuck, you know. It is what it is, you know. But I also waited a really long time to start having children again. Like, he's 20, so he's off in college and living his best life, and I got little kids that I'm still raising, 5 and 6 type stuff, you know. But just I think that once he starts getting a little older, because I've always been very open with him about everything, probably a little too open, and he talks all the time like, you know, Mom, you were a kid. What did you expect to happen? Like, how did you expect to raise me? Like, what tools did you expect to have?
Right.
You were a child, you know, but it's still hard for me to process and forgive that, you know, with like, damn, I dropped the ball.
No.
You know.
Don't think of it like that, because I'm speaking from the perspective of your son as a child, because my mother, heavy on addiction, She wasn't there for me or my sister. And that's traumatizing because you not even with your real family. You with your family, but you're not with your real family.
Yeah.
So you saying that no, don't ever think that, because it is some people out here who really dropped the ball. And I love my mama to death, but she dropped it.
Yeah. Yeah.
She dropped it.
I get that.
And, I try to have those conversations with my mom too, like whenever I can. And it took me a long time because I was really upset with her.
I need some.
You know what I'm saying? But those conversations do need to be had. Like, you have to have those conversations because we're kids. And then when we do have those conversations, we're not talking to you from whatever age we're at. We're talking to you from that hurt kid, that wounded kid.
Right.
We're talking to you from those lenses. And we want those answers, but, you got to... Don't think I said all that to say, when I processed and understood that she could only pour into me what was poured into her, that's when we started having those conversations, because I didn't want to open that can of worms until, but when I grasped and understood that fact, I'm just like, she was a human and an individual before me, you know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, but it's also whether they're ready to have those conversations or not.
Oh, yeah.
I am so fortunate that my parents, both of them, want to. Like, they're like, yo, hey, daughter,
right, let's
I
talk.
fucked up.
Yeah, let's talk.
Like, how did that make you feel? Because damn, like, I, as a parent, I was in survival mode. I wasn't even thinking about that kid,
Is that
Is that?
Yeah.
I think for me, I'd write a letter to my son because from 10 up, I was really in a dark place personally. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, he saw a lot of anger. He saw his mama beat a lot of ass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Including his.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was really operating from a place of anger. Like, I was in a stage of grief where I was really just angry. I was angry.
Yeah.
So, so people hurt me, but I was also a hurt person hurting people. So to the people I hurt, I'd apologize. And I feel like I've done that. Does that make sense? Like, I've extended my apologies to their experience of me when I was broken.
Yeah.
If it wasn't positive. Does that make sense?
Right.
Because you black out. Does that make sense? You black out. Like, I literally watched the love of my life stop breathing. Now what the fuck I'm supposed to do? You get what I'm saying? Nobody loved me like that. Nobody cared for me like that.
Nobody talked
to me like that. Nobody touched me like that. Nobody, you know what I mean? Like, nobody can make me feel like that. Does that make sense? And it's gone.
So
It's gone,
Yeah. I feel like
And then all you got to do is keep going, because you go from 4 incomes to 2. You know what I mean? Have to figure out what you're supposed to do next, and nobody gets that. You know what I mean? Nobody understands that. They just want you to ensure everyone is good. You know what I mean? It's you carrying the whole world while the world is barely carrying you. You know what I'm saying?
Or telling you you're too masculine for carrying the world. But that's a whole nother.
Be soft.
that's
a whole nother topic. But I just had to alley-oop that one at you real quick.
Thank you.
You want to be soft.
You want to be soft.
So soft.
Due to the circumstances of what I'm going through.
Because, baby,
pick my nuts up.
We're hollering and screaming and saying, hey.
I have to pick him up and go about my day. Like,
regardless of if I want to or not.
Regardless
of if I want to or not.
I've been trying to think this whole time.
So I'd apologize to my son. I really would.
No,
I really would, because some shit went down in 2003, and I blame myself to this day. Does that make sense? I still blame myself to this day, although I didn't make the decision. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Although I gave direction and he made a choice, I still fault me.
Yeah.
Because all he saw was me banging. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I still blame myself. So I'd apologize to my son.
Yeah.
I let my mom know that I love her, because oftentimes she doesn't feel I do.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Does that make sense? Because, the past that have them. and you grow up and you want to just kind of move on and let go, but they're still there. Does that make sense? And just can't really accept that you're okay. Like, it's cool. It happened. I get it. Thank you. You tried. I can't fault you again for what you don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I can't fault you for doing what was done to you. You know what I mean? Because that's all you've seen and that's all you knew. Does that make sense? I can't fault you for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense. No, for sure. I think for me, I don't know. I don't know if it's a past self or a future self of writing a letter to. I think I personally have addressed most things with my family where I guess writing a letter to them isn't going to change much in that perspective. And I'm also very open with my kids and very vocal with them that they know kind of where my mindset is and how I feel about things. And I try to prepare them well. I think for me, I guess the battle of self-identity has always been a thing for me. And I've talked about that in past podcasts with Ruben, like, that has been something. And so it's even still a struggle, kind of looping all the way back to like our first part of our conversation today is like, where do we let go of fear? And I think for me is writing something, just to encourage that I am who I am and accept and embrace who I am and not
And be okay.
and
with
be
it,
okay with
and be
it.
comfortable.
And it is what it is. Like it, and I'm good with that. And so I think that's what a lot of people, and where I get the negative pushback either from my family or from people that passively know me in the community, is they think that I'm this, oh, you think you're better than people. Like it's not, I don't, not at all. I'm furthest from that thought, but it is I am confident in a lot of ways of knowing who I am, but more importantly is having those boundaries for myself because I am trying to achieve something. And so being okay
goal,
with that
ultimate goal,
and setting that. So I think I would do a little letter like that.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Well, ladies, we're almost approaching the end of our time here. Any last little thing we need to vent about today?
What would be some words of encouragement to yourself
Or to each other?
or to each other, but just something to motivate yourself to keep going?
I think I heard or read a really nice quote the other day. I'm probably going to say it wrong, but it's like the moment you step and put your foot on the floor, you are walking in your authentic, like true self. And so for me, like I was like, oh, I'm like, yeah, because it's like every day that you wake up, right? We're thankful that we wake up every day, but are we embracing, all the things about ourselves the moment that we wake up out of that bed and go on with our day? Like, so that's, to me, was something I like to think about.
I think I'm in a state now where I am constantly reminding myself that I deserve.
Okay. I like that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Remind myself what I deserve, because for a long time I just settled for what was presented. Does that make sense? And I allowed people to make me feel that what I was asking for was just way too much, and it's never been way too much. Does that make sense? It's never been way too much. But I've allowed people to make me feel like the very minute, the very basic, the very simple things that I have asked for that would assist me in feeling like I am loved, I'm cherished, I'm cared for, I'm worthy. You know what I'm saying? I'm safe.
Some shit to make you thrive.
You know what I mean?
Basically.
So I just remind myself of what I deserve and continue to create these boundaries and stand 10 toes, head up, chest out behind that.
I like that.
I like that too.
I think for me, the biggest thing is reminding myself that my past doesn't dictate who I am now. It only shaped experiences that I lived through. And taking those experiences and turning them into lessons of love and how to use that to shape and change something else is kind of where my mentality has been at lately, and just changing my perspective, saying, let me change my perspective where I need a perspective shift instead of I got a bad day. Things like that. Just really,
that helps.
making sure that I'm really truly flourishing and walking in love, because I feel like at this point, if that's all that I put out, I feel like that's going to be what I end up attracting, and that's going to be what shapes whatever it is that I do. If I just live and act through love, then hey,
that's what you gonna get.
alhamdulillah, he woke me up.
Yeah, most definitely. I would have to say, just try to know that you are enough. Keep reminding yourself you are enough, because a lot of times we don't feel like that.
Yeah.
We feel like if a loved one die, that's part of us is gone, but we are enough. So I just got to keep going. Got to keep encouraging yourself.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing.
Was it clacking?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I definitely love these conversations. I think we'll probably have to do it again, because we all need a little vent session. We all need our friends. I think regardless, for the people that are watching, regardless who your circle is, mine, very, very tiny. And these ladies are a very helpful part of, just having and knowing I have somebody to lean on and talk to. But I also know that's not feeding me a bunch of bullshit. That's going to be honest. And
Be very appreciative.
Yes. I'm going to ask, because I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
Baby got it.
Yeah. And can I just shout out our friend group too, that we don't just sit and talk, like we actually go and do stuff. We plan things. We, we're out in the community doing stuff. We're, uplifting. We're checking on each other. We're encouraging each other. How are you on this degree? What are you doing with this? Do you need help with this? Like we're genuinely like there for each other. And so like I'm very appreciative, thankful. Yeah, I love it.
I love you guys.
I know, right? I know.
Oh, we didn't cry. Good. We didn't bring out the tissue. Well,
I did earlier, but it's okay. It was just a couple.
sorry.
I kept it gangster. I held my head up.
Gangsters cry too.
yeah. Gotta do it well too. People can't know we're weak. These is just kidding.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Hazel, for this idea.
Awesome.
Thank you for the invite.
Dr. Hazel.
Dr. Hazel.
Dr. Hazel over here.
I mean, the world's ending, so let's just get some shit
And
off our
before it
chest.
ends, let us start this nice young what do you call it, non-denominational church.
She is visualizing
a spiritual church where we have different spiritual leaders come and do sessions for, so that it can be more of like an open spiritual thing. Of course, Dr. Pope Hazel will be the main, attraction. However, we'll have like maybe a Buddhist come out, or maybe,
As a special guest.
a rabbi, or,
Today we
like
have.
different things, so that we're really learning the word from different perspectives, so that you can get a full grasp on,
Yeah.
and then of course let it be how we do, be friendly to everyone, and the
She put it out there, so now you have to do it.
I'm just saying. And I've been floating it to people just randomly, and people be like, that
makes
sounds
sense.
dope. I would love to come to a church like that.
That makes sense. And before, we won't go too much longer, Ruben, but before
Sorry.
we live in that, but it makes sense though, because again, I think it's important for people to learn from different points of views. And this is exactly what we're sitting here talking about today, is people just feel misunderstood or not heard. And it's let's actually, as people like sit down and listen and hear, and sure, you may not agree, you may not have the same religious background, you may not pray to the the same God, you know, but
point of view.
but it's all about
But it's
twin
all the
beings.
same.
And it is all
The ultimate
all
goal
the
is
same,
love.
though. It's all
Yeah.
the same.
love.
And I grew up fortunate
Partnership.
where I
Positive
had all of those different. I had Islam, I had Buddhism, I had Taoism, I had grandparents and aunties and stuff that were all these different things. So I learned all these different books and realized they're all the same.
Yeah.
And if you just live through love,
right.
Love is
baby.
the ultimate desire.
So yeah.
The ultimate goal.
And the goal. We'll end it on that. Thank you very much for
Thank
letting
you.
us use your
Love
podcast.
Love y'all.
Awesome.